9 years ago, I was drowning in $60,000 of credit card debt, working 60-hour weeks just to pay the interest and living on food stamps. Today, I'm unboxing one of the most sought-after watches in the world, the Omega Speedmaster Silver Snoopy 50th Anniversary Edition. But this isn't just another luxury watch video. This is the story about how hitting rock bottom taught me to build wealth the smart way, and how I managed to acquire this incredible timepiece without paying the crazy gray market prices. Stick around until the end because I'm going to share exactly how I did it. Like many of you, I once had a small business that failed, and it failed in a spectacular way that left me broke and drowning in debt. Honestly, like the American dream at that point felt impossible to me. But through Chapter 7 Bankruptcy and a complete reset, I learned something crucial. Success comes from playing the long game and making strategic moves financially. That mindset didn't just help me rebuild my life, it helped me acquire this watch, which to me represents that entire journey. Before I tell you the story though, let's look at what makes this piece so special. Okay, so starting with the presentation of this watch is something really special. Omega knows they're delivering something historic here. The box design recalls the space age aesthetic of the Apollo era, so let's take a look at it. Oh yeah, look at this. We've got an astronaut style case. We've got the Silver Snoopy patch, which if you don't know what this is, go take a look at it. It's an award that's given out to astronauts for distinguished service. If I remember correctly, I believe Charles Schultz, the creator of Peanuts, like really early on, was kind of obsessed with NASA. And so he partnered with them to create this award, which is very awesome on the top of the case here. Yeah, got that little attaché style going on there. And if you open this case, it reveals what I consider to be one of the most beautiful Speedmasters ever created. Look at this thing. It's insane. The first thing that strikes you is that stunning silver dial. I don't know if you can capture it quite as well or see it quite as well here, but I thought this was white when I saw it in pictures online. This thing is silver, which is gorgeous. In full disclosure, I've been wearing this for a while. It's my absolute favorite watch to wear. I just threw it back in here so we could do an unboxing. But yeah, there we go. I'm going to pop this thing out here so we can take a look at it. That's silver. You got the blue accents on it. Just really pops. Looks incredible. I think it's really a perfect combination. It catches the light in just the right way here. Photos don't do it justice online. Like you really need to see it in person. But what makes this watch truly special isn't just how it looks. It's the story behind it. So for those who don't know, this watch commemorates the Silver Snoopy Award that NASA presented to Omega after the Speedmaster helped save the Apollo 13 crew, which is really like a story of precision engineering turning something that could have been a disaster into a triumph. And that's something that resonates really deeply with me because it was hard work, it was thoughtfulness that put me in the position where I can afford to own things like that. And this watch includes a story, pull out down here in the bottom, of that history. Full story of the Silver Snoopy, Speedmaster in space, and the Apollo 13 mission. Awesome story if you don't know it. The movie's incredible. The story of the watch is not really in the movie. I think you do see the watch in the movie if I remember. But take a look at that. It's absolutely awesome. Even if you've never purchased this or don't have any interest in purchasing it, it's a really cool story about how engineering and thoughtfulness can really triumph over adversity. A very cool watch. That resonates with me there for sure. Okay, so let's do a quick technical breakdown of this thing. And I want to talk about the different things that make this piece extraordinary. I'm going to rate each of these. These are totally my arbitrary ratings. I'd love to hear in your comments if you agree or disagree with these. But that dial, I give this thing a score. It's a silver laser engraved AG925 dial with amazing depth. See if I can capture some of that depth on camera here. It's hard to see with the domed sapphire. But that blue PVD hour markers, they look silver until you see them up in person. They look silver, but they're actually blue inlays. You have that iconic Snoopy medallion at 9 o'clock right there that says 50th anniversary. It's really incredible legibility despite the decorative elements. You can really tell from looking at it really at any angle except video angle. So the lume on it is incredible. Awesome dial. And let me know in the comments what you think. So movement, I would score this a 9 out of 10. I'm not going to show you the back yet. I'm going to just show you the second hand moving here so you can get a sense of what that looks like. It's a standard sweep like you would expect on something like this. This watch uses the Meta certified caliber 3861. It's a manual wind with a 50-hour power reserve. And actually, this is one of my gripes about this watch. Similar gripe about most Speedmaster professionals. It's hard to wind, especially if you have bigger hands. It can be difficult to wind those things. Really great, though, that those crown guards there really do protect it from getting screwed up. And the pushers are amazing. Now, as I mentioned, it's a 50-hour power reserve. It has that same movement that helped save the Apollo 13, which is awesome. It's really accurate. It is a plus or minus 2-second per day time loss on that movement. So very well done. Now, case and crystal. Let's talk about these a little bit. So it's a classic 42 millimeter steel case with perfect proportions. If you've never worn a Speedmaster, these things just fit incredibly well. It is a sapphire crystal. The original Spacelight models were Hesalite. Those that don't know the distinction between Hesalite and sapphire, the Hesalite, it's the original proportions, looks like, almost has like a little milky sheen to it in some instances, but it tends to scratch a little bit more than sapphire crystal. This is a sapphire crystal, which is just awesome. Slightly domed, has that Hesalite look there, that slightly domed, raised crystal all around. Really beautiful alternating brushed and polished surfaces. You have the brush on the side, then you have the polished on the lugs. Just creates a nice flow in the design. It looks incredible. And it is super comfortable. It's a 13.58 millimeter thickness, which is just very wearable. The bezel scored, I would say 9 out of 10. I love this thing. It's beautiful. So it is a blue ceramic with white enamel. It has the collector favorite dot over 90. See if you can see that there. Dot over 90, which if you're in the Speedmasters, that's the thing you're looking for. So there's really no backplay, and it has precise 120 clicks. Perfect contrast with the silver dial. It really looks good. The case back. Okay, let's talk about the case back on this thing, because this is truly the magic of this watch. If you've never seen one of these before, this is going to blow your mind. This is like the one watch that I can wear around family and friends and be like, that don't like watches, and be like, look at this thing. And they're like, oh, that's cool. So check this thing out. The case back, I would give this absolutely a 10 out of 10. I'm going to start the tachymeter so you can see this. But look at this case back. So you have, I think this might be the coolest case back on any watch, honestly. So you see you got little silver Snoopy on his rocket flying around the moon up there. You have this eyes on the stars mantra at the top. We start the chronograph is when Snoopy flies around. He's in his command module. He's traveling around the far side of the moon. The Earth disk, I don't know if you can see it on camera here, but it's rotating. It's a photorealistic picture of the Earth. Photorealistic. It rotates once per minute, that Earth. You have the Naiad lock system that keeps the case back perfectly aligned. And then you have that eyes on the stars inscription at the top, which is so cool. Like a reminder that we are exploring. We're out here in the universe as humans, just trying to understand the place that we're in. So keep your eyes on the stars and remember there's a lot out there to see and understand. Very cool case back. Absolutely incredible. I love this thing. So I've actually heard, I don't know this is true, but I've heard that at a lot of retail investing and crypto conferences, people will actually wear these backwards because that is such a cool thing. There's a prestige marker with this because it's hard to get, which we'll talk about later, but such a cool case back. I would give this an 11 out of 10 if that was possible. All right, so let's talk about this strap. Gorgeous color alignment, blue canvas with stitching. Here's my beef with this. This is a Omega pin and buckle clasp, which it's cool, right? Like it looks nice, very cool looking. I'll put this on so you can see what it looks like. We have on the back the slingshot pattern. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera, but there's the slingshot pattern that was the mathematical calculation that actually got the Apollo 13 astronauts back to Earth safely, which is very cool. But I don't like wearing pin and buckle. Like they're just inconvenient. I'm always worried they're going to stretch out the watch. Let me show what this looks like on, and then we're going to do a quick presto changeo to a strap that I actually love, that I purchased. Shock, don't judge me. I purchased aftermarket, but I'll talk about why it is actually consistent with the heritage and how I keep it 100 with Omega. So here is what this watch looks like on. Great wear. I have a 7.3 inch wrist. Very specific, I know. But just beautiful on. There's nothing like a Speedmaster. You can wear them with anything. You've got a sporty vibe, but it's also kind of dressy. If you wear this thing around, people notice it. It's got a pop of color. It's just awesome. Okay, again, as I mentioned, not a huge fan of that buckle style. So let me pause for a second. I'm going to swap out the band to one that I like. And I will show you in the conclusion where I got this strap from. So let me swap this out real quick. Oh, and I should mention before I do that, things that come in the box. So you actually have an eye loop that comes with this, so you can inspect the details in the back of the watch. They won't show up on camera, but a pretty cool inclusion there. When I bought this watch, shortly after, I was at the Fifth Avenue Omega Boutique store, and I got the Omega branded, it looks like it's black in this shot. Let me see if I can get a better backdrop for you. There we go. Omega branded canvas strap, pattern design to the original. So original on the left and the Omega branded canvas on the right. Here's the problem. This, if you notice where it connects to the lugs, is way too thick. I don't know what the design is going on here, but it creates a weird vibe, if I can show you what this looks like next to it, where it's almost like bowed up at the front. So when you wear it, see if I can show you like why I don't like this. It's chunky. Like it makes it look like the strap is up above or like right next to the bezel, which I'm not a huge fan of. Yeah, don't like that. So I pretty quickly swapped it out for this beautiful piece, which I got from a company called Artem. So I did buy the Omega deployment clasp, which is fantastic, right? The deployment clasp connections, which is what I originally had on the Omega branded canvas. You'll notice it's uniform, so you need to have you can only put the buckle on this one if it's uniform at the end, so 20 to 20, which is what I found with this Artem strap. However, the Artem strap looks a little bit more tapered. So you've got a little bit more of a sleek design, more similar to the original, not as thin, but closer. I don't know if they just do this, if it's an optical illusion. It has a little bump there, which makes it look a little bit more robust, but it's much thinner at the connecting points. If you see this here, much closer to the original on the left over here with the Artem on the right. So let me throw this on this thing and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we've got the Artem strap on, and now we have a beautiful Omega branded deployment clasp. I bought this directly from Omega. You can get them through third parties. They're on eBay. It is cheaper to do it through Omega. I believe I spent $250 on the clasp, $250 on the blue canvas band, unfortunately, as well, but that's okay. This Artem strap, it was, let me check real quick. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, it was $102. Amazing. I'll share the link to the Artem strap in the description. Not a sponsor or anything like that. Just love their products. And yeah, it looks amazing. So let's throw this on. And oh yeah, so much easier. Look at that. So now we've got our Omega branding. We've got the original colorway pattern. We've got just an absolute stunner of a watch on the convenience of a deployment clasp. You notice it's the perfect thickness. It doesn't raise up above at all. It's slightly separated from the case, just like the original was. Matches the original aesthetic, premium deployment clasp. Yeah, let me know which combination you'd choose. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments. All right, so here you go. We're back to me. I know you would rather see the watch, but here's the Artem strap that I was telling you about, the blue canvas. So you're looking for Artem, A-R-T-E-M, artemstraps.com. Classic navy blue sailcloth watch strap with white stitching. It does come with a buckle by default. You can also choose a spring bar. I wish I had done that, but whatever. You want the 20 millimeter, it's $102. You'll see it can attach with a deployment clasp. And then you want the original Omega brush steel deployment clasp. I would suggest buying it directly from Omega if you have a boutique nearby. So yeah, love this watch. I love the design of it. I love the fit. I love the story. Remember how I mentioned playing the long game? Here's what I did. I decided that I was going to flip things that I felt good flipping. I didn't want to play gray market pricing at all, so I refused to do that. MetaQuest VRs were really popular a couple years ago. I bought a bunch of them at wholesale pricing, and I used that to flip them to build some capital. Then I spotted an opportunity during a market dip in watches, and I bought this exact model Silver Snoopy, plus an extra bracelet from a motivated seller, and I flipped that combo for a $2,000 profit. So at this point, I'm at like $8,000 of total profit on this. But I wanted to have my own Snoopy. Like, I actually almost kept that one when I flipped it, but I wanted to get it the right way. So I built a relationship with a boutique employee at the Fifth Avenue Omega Boutique in New York. I've mentioned him before, Rosh, awesome dude. Bought a few pieces. I kept some of them, flipped some others, and then one day I got the call that I'd been waiting for. I could purchase the Snoopy at retail, and I lost my mind, right? My guy Rosh is a fighter. He sent me this, like a bunch of gifs of Muhammad Ali fighting for it with corporate. Because those of you that don't know, it's really hard to get this. There's wait lists that are years and years long, like some cases like 8 years long. You have to have a boutique relationship, but if you do have a boutique relationship, and some people estimate that you have to spend about $50,000 with a boutique before you can get an offer to buy one of these at retail. If you do have that relationship, you can get them. They are available, not all the time, but they are. And Rosh got me one. All told, I only had to put in about $2,000 of new money to get this watch. The rest of it was just like that flipping, buying, selling, waiting for lulls in the market, making some trades, and having patience. Just like rebuilding my life after bankruptcy took patience and a little bit of planning, it was about making calculated moves and never giving up. And ultimately, I got my Grail. So this watch means something different to everybody. To NASA, it represents precision engineering that saved astronauts' lives. To collectors, it's a Grail piece, honestly. It is for me too. But more so for me, it's a daily reminder that no matter how far down you are, with the right mindset and strategy, you can achieve anything. I went from bankruptcy to building a successful life, from dreaming about this watch to wearing it every day. It's all about playing the long game. If you're interested in more stories about watch collecting and building wealth the smart way, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Snoopy Speedmaster 50th, or your own story of turning things around as you've worked through things in your life. And until next time, keep your eyes on the stars, and remember, rock bottom can be your foundation that you build your dreams on. Take care, and I'll see you in another episode of Broke to Bespoke.